Okay, are you there? Okay, I think because of power outage, so there will not be much people. Possibly you're the only person that we would be doing this class with today. So I will only record the class and then upload them to YouTube so that anyone who wants to watch can go there and watch. So we yeah we are going to start SQL properly. And what we'll be doing is we only looked at the introductory part last week, and I said today if we come, we're going to be looking at data manipulation. That we will see how we can write queries in SQL using the um MySQL workbench. So right now, I believe your SQL is ready. I mean your workbench is ready, so that if you want to follow the class, you follow the class so that you'll be able to do one or two things while we go together. So data manipulation with SQL is just the same thing in most of the tools. That's what you find in Excel, what you find in Power BI, what you find maybe Jupyter Notebook or Python, let's say. Is the same thing we're going to be applying to um, this tool. So you want to say something? Oh, okay, okay. So the first thing we're going to be looking at data type in SQL. So through from from now on we'll be working with data types just like in other tools. So there are different types of data in SQL. We have the integer, which is numeric data, which consists of sometimes numbers. Then we have variable or characters that just um are mostly strings. That's our ABC to Z. Then we have our date, which is the normal date. Then we have decimal, and then there are other types like we have date time. Then there's boolean, and I think that's what we'll be looking at mostly in this course. So the integer data type, as I mentioned earlier, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 continuously. Then the strings, or that's the character um, data, which is our A, B, C to Z. And then um, our date, our date comes in the form of just normal date. Normal date, it can just be 12. What's today's date? Today's 27th October 2025. That's normal date. In date time, normal date has just day, month, and year. But in date time, there is year, there's month, there's day, and then there's time. So that's just the difference between date and date time. Then in decimal we have it's just point any number, any integer with point. That's what we consider as decimal. But under decimal there are floats. And floats and decimal are almost the same thing, just different there are different ways. A decimal might have just let's say it might just be um 0 point. Let's say it might just be 1 point something. Um it might just be 1 point something. Let's say 1.12. I'm coming, please. Let me. Just trying to reply to one of my teachers asking me questions. I'll get back. Okay, sorry for wasting your time. So, uh, the next data type is bullying. So in bullying, we have only true or false. So there are just two data types, and two conditions in bullying. Bullying are not just, they are not, we cannot classify them as data mostly. We cannot say they are just conditions. Either a condition is true or a condition is false. But they are classified also as data types. So we are moving into our work. Okay, take me back, okay? All right. Okay, I was saying something about this smile and food. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Um, float and this matters. I think they are the same thing. But float stores mostly approximate data as I see. So it's let's say a float is just like, let's take the value of pi as 3.14 continuously. So that continuation, that length is mostly referred to as float. But then decimal also is decimal stores a certain number. Like you can decide to limit certain certain number in decimal. Float is going to read everything for you, but decimal you have to, there's a specification. You can specify whether two decimal places, three decimal places, continuously. That's just the difference. Yeah, in writing the in writing queries, if we are floating, we don't have to specify the number of decimal types or decimal places. But in decimal, we have to specify the number of decimal places. So we're good, right? Okay. Let's continue right now. I'm going to start right away. If you are in your SQL environment, in our last class, I told you, I showed us how we can create connections in our data in our SQL. So all you need to do right now is just to go ahead and then click on this connection, that's this plus. So for today's class, we're just going to call it data manipulation. Data manipulation. Then everything is going to be like this. Click on, okay, there's a connection that exists with this name. So data manipulation, I can just say SQL, click on OK. So if you check, you can see this is the connection right away. So if we click the connection, it's going to open the environment for us. So I talk about schemas that day. These schemas are just database names that we write to store our data in. So we're going to create a schema, or we're going to create a database that we'll be using throughout this class to write queries into. So the first thing we're going to do is, the syntax is always just normal like an English and English writing. It's just we're going to just create. Okay, there's something I need to say. Some people prefer writing SQL in capital letters. Some people use small letters. But the standard form of writing SQL codes or writing SQL queries is in capital letter. You are you're mostly supposed to use capital letters when you're writing queries. So right now we'll be using the capital letter throughout this course. So we're just going to create database. Okay. So there is a clause called if not exist. This if not exist is going to be in each time you're creating something in this environment. If you use that clause if not exist, the if not exist is going to check through other list and make sure that the thing you're creating, or let's say the table or the database you're creating, doesn't exist in your schema. So let's take for example create database. If I just say create database and I say all stars now. All right. So if I run this right away, you're going to see there's an output error here saying, okay, create database all star. Can't create database all star. Database exists. All right. Then if we're using if not exist now, let's say if not exist, let's say all stars. So if we run this right now, it's going to tell us, all right, there's a database that already exists. So can't create a database all stars because the database already exists. So the if not exists is just to check it for us so that we don't have errors that we don't know what it means. So it's mostly um it's mostly not used, but advise you to use them in your queries so that you can know how to manage your errors. So you create database if not exist. So we can just call it data, say data manipulation. Okay, I just hope this okay it's a database with data manipulation. Just say data manipulation and we say SQL. So right away if we run this, it's the output is showing it's successful. So what we're going to do right now is you come to your schemas, and on this schema there's a refresh symbol there. All you need to do is just to click on the refresh symbol, and you're going to see the new schema you created or the new database you created. Are you talking? Okay, yeah, right. Okay. The second one, that's the one that has an eye on it. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Successful right now, right? Okay. So come to your schema right here. On your schema, there's a refresh button there. Just click on the refresh. It's going to refresh all your schemas for you. And what you just created is going to appear for you there. So you right click on it and then click set as default schema. You get it right? Right click, environment. Okay. Okay, are you under navigator? This navigator on this side.